fucking pig.
I know. Well, there's only so much I can do about that. It's just my face, man.
Good thing that wasn't in the ball.
Is that a table?
Oh, you're live. Sorry.
What? We're on?
Yeah.
Hey!
Are we going high?
Yeah.
What up?
Tony's putting a tablecloth on.
I hit
Give
cancel
us a
and it
second.
said finish, but I guess I didn't hit
Okay, so we're live. And
finish.
wait till you see how handsome Tony's going to be in a second.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
They're going to be
Well,
very
it's
disappointed.
in the house.
I think I buttoned
Come on.
it.
Oh, that's okay.
I did. I buttoned it wrong,
Yeah,
too.
Tony, he's making an entrance.
That's right. Wow.
Very
I got
That was
introduced by
very
Richie
impressive.
Cannata.
That's pretty impressive.
Holy
Nice,
shit.
nice buttoning of the shirt.
I did it wrong. It's all buttoned wrong.
Wow.
I am gonna fix it while I'm talking to Richie Cannata. Holy crap, it's Richie Cannata.
That's
Hey!
me.
Holy crap.
Holy
we
crap.
can curse on here. Holy shit.
Can you fix that? It's really
I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
All right.
The
It's,
OCD
the,
is
it's
like
the management and me. I can't look at it.
all our OCD fans are just freaking out right now.
I'm a big geek, so like I'm in heaven actually right now. I love being in a recording studio. This is only the third time in my life I've been in a recording studio. I'm with a legend, at least in my book.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm Andy's here too. Oh shit, I forgot. In my opinion, there's only 3 rock and roll saxophone players who you just listen to a song and you know who it is. All right. Now the first one is Bobby Keys, who played with the Stones.
Yes. May he rest.
Did you know Bobby?
Yes.
Oh, nice. The other, there's 4 in my book, my personal opinion. The second is a weird choice, but it's Johnny Cola from Huey Lewis in the News.
I love Johnny Cole.
Johnny Cola is
Man, he's
fantastic.
awesome, man. Johnny.
He's got a sound over.
We
his
almost
own.
got together, right, Andy?
Yeah.
We almost got together.
spoke.
I have not met him, but we know of each other.
We had the pleasure of meeting Huey
Yeah, we
about a year or
worked
2
with him
ago.
a
Johnny
little
is a
bit.
fan of Richie's as well.
And I believe it. And then of course
You better say Clarence.
yes, that number 3 of course is the big man, of course. But then you got this man who I'm actually sitting next to, who I'm still a little bit in shock, even though we've known each other for a couple of years. I'm still a little bit in shock that I'm actually sitting next to him in his studio. The one and only Richie Cannata is here. Thank you, pal. Thank you for doing
man.
this. Thank you. This
That's
is
awesome. Am I our manager?
our
Yeah.
manager, his manager, Andy Gilmartin is here with his Yankee hat, of course. And he actually slimmed down just for this
Just
this
for
show.
this, yeah. I worked out the
Just
last
for
4
this
months
show.
just for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize you were going to be wearing a tablecloth, so.
At least it's not a Songs in the Attic shirt.
You want to set up a candle on this thing while we're talking?
I knew the Songs in the Attic thing was coming up. I
Oh
knew
my
it.
God. Oh yeah.
I knew it. The guy's in your band. I thought it was okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
You play in the band sometimes.
Oh,
See, now
Andy,
we're
he's
already
killing us.
we're already off to a. We're just
He
gonna.
does not play in any band besides the Lords at 50 Seconds.
Oh, is that right? Is that?
That is the way it is.
My apologies. I was not aware of that. All right. I apparently did not do my
So
research.
don't ask.
But speaking of Lords of 52nd Street, last week we came to you live from the space. This week we're talking to one of the Lords of 52nd Street. You put the two together and you have a big ass show on Friday at the space in Westbury. Oh, I thought you were laughing for a second.
I was a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Good, continue.
The Lords of 52nd Street are playing at the space in Westbury Friday night. Me personally, the best place to see them. Great acoustics, great atmosphere, comfortable seating. They hang out afterwards and hang out with us and talk to us and put up with us. It's just my personal opinion, the best place to see them. And it's like a like a hometown gig.
Oh, it's
pretty
not
much,
like
right?
it is our
okay.
hometown gig.
All right.
That's our.
It is our hometown gig.
But I know sometimes you play here in Glen Cove, so I
Yeah.
didn't-
Oh, that's really a hometown gig
right,
for me.
right. But yeah, so Richie's here. We're gonna hang out and talk to Richie, and maybe we'll talk to Andy a little bit. But yeah, the Lords 52nd Street this Friday. We're gonna mention it like crazy all through the episode. And I know Andy watches sometimes. We always push you guys. We talk about you guys. I think every week there's at least some kind of mention. We're always talking about David Clark. He's been on the show once.
Dave Clark.
Dave Clark has been on the show. He actually played Bruce when he was on the show with us. But he's a good friend. So the Lords 52nd Street this Friday at the Space. How do you get the opening act? Who's the opening act? The five?
Two from five.
Two from five?
They're a. First of all, we're sitting in my studio.
Oh, yes, we were, okay.
Cove City Sound Studios, and this guy and girl team who recorded with us, and we put a band together for them, and they were absolutely fantastic. They're local people. I really liked both of them, and I knew the guy, and he brought the girl, and they're called 2 from 5, Heather and Troy. Diaz, and
Troy's a really cool guy.
a really cool guy. She's a nurse full time, and it's just a great story. And so they would. I heard the material. And I said it'd be great. Would you guys like to open?
Oh, they do originals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
Nice.
originals.
You don't
I
really
think-
see too much of that on Long Island
Yeah,
anymore, right?
They might do. They might do a cover or two. I don't know what their set list is. A good point. I will ask them. Andy will suss it
We're all
out.
good.
But that's good. If anybody's choking or having a heart attack in the audience, she can just jump right off and save them.
Yes,
She can.
that's
Yeah,
good.
that's-
And
that is
she
good.
will be doing that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's quite a gimmick. So let me ask you, what it's the big inevitable question: what's it like playing with the guy whose name begins with B? Of course, I'm talking about Bernie Williams.
Right.
Don't touch my head ever again. just so you know, it's a donkey.
Did Paul O'Neill give you that hat?
No.
Everyone on Facebook, look at me and Paul O'Neill. Look, I'm in a booth with
Listen,
Paul O'Neill. Look
O'Neill
at me.
loves the
Stop
Lord's
it.
52nd Street.
You would have been
And,
thrown out of the stadium if Richie Cannata wasn't there. Give me a
It's true.
break.
That is definitely true.
Andy had a pretty grip on it. No, he had a grip, man.
Yeah? On
Yeah.
Paul O'Neill's nuts.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It was
He's
it
been
was
smiling ever since.
It was a
He's a
friendly
boxer's
grip.
guy.
Oh,
which is
yeah?
weird. I found that.
Yeah,
out.
I wouldn't think
No,
that.
he loves the band, and he
Loves
he
music,
Does
loves
not
Lib.
like he does not like you at all, which is weird. I didn't even know he knew you, but then he brought that up. And
Actually, doesn't he play drums in all seriousness?
yeah, he does, but he
okay.
really doesn't like you. So,
Who does?
but it was fun, and yeah, but, working with Bernie and stuff, and getting to work with Richie, you meet all these cool people, and that,
Yeah,
was,
sure.
that was definitely.
And
one of
Bernie
them.
recently jumped on stage with you guys?
Yeah, well, go back a beat here.
Okay.
That day we were talking about, I played the Star Spangled Banner for the playoff game for the Yankees,
Nice.
of which Andy and I went and we got on the field and we got pieces of the field. We got some grass, we got some dirt.
That's cool.
We went to the dugout. We went to a home plate, and we had, and then they gave us a booth. And the Paul O'Neill story is that Paul was up with Coney and Michael K. And my family and
Yeah, they gave us this booth, and nobody said that it was like the booth that the Yes people hang out in. So we were in there. Richie left, and Richie was about to leave, and all of a sudden Michael K walked in, then Paul, then Coney, and throughout the night, we saw Mr.
Raina
Steinbrenner.
Oh,
we saw
wow.
Ray, yeah, we saw everybody. Mickey Rivers was outside selling hot dogs.
so it was probably if I had a job, I would have retired that night.
Yeah,
but I still don't.
We were on
have
the
a
field,
job.
and we were like little kids. We were literally. It was. I mean.
It was tremendous. Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I felt when you played City Field. I had to throw that in there. He's going to kill me.
We went to church for 5 days after that. Okay.
You went where?
We had to go to church for 5 days to get it out of the
Well, I
system.
took a shower immediately after
In holy water.
in holy water.
In holy water. We just filled up his pool and he jumped right in.
Hey, I got to be there because of you guys. I got to see that. So
Yeah, that's right.
that
I
was
forgot
cool.
about that. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
But what you guys, I did play City Field,
Yeah.
but the Yankees were playing the Mets. That's why I was really there.
Oh, was it a Met Yankee game?
Yes.
No, the day that we went, we
No,
gave him the
it-
tickets.
no,
it wasn't a
I-
Yankee because we were down in the back and we met. Remember, we met. Who owns the team? Or what's his name?
Wilpon?
He was walking the dog when we were leaving. It was a different day.
Walking the dog.
He had a dog. He was walking through
No,
the backstage.
that day
of
that
the-
I played, it was Yankee because I spoke to Girardi that day.
You played City twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even
You
remember.
played City a while ago, and then you played City last year.
Oh.
Or was it last year? It was
2
right
years
at the
ago.
end of the yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we saw it was Sandy Alderson. That's what we saw. He was just walking a dog, which was weird.
I don't remember.
But being working with Richie, you get to do a lot of cool stuff. And
I bet.
Yankee Stadium was, I mean,
Oh, here's something else too about the night that I did the playoff game, and I'm the musical director for Bernie Williams. You mentioned Bernie,
Yes.
and Bernie and I were really quiet about me doing the Star Spangled Banner, and I didn't know he didn't know I was doing it, and I didn't know he was throwing the first pitch out
Oh,
that
okay.
night, and we finally found out the day before. And he threw the first pitch out the night that I did the Star Spangled Banner. And he came up and he gave me the ball. He signed it and gave me the ball.
just the best guy in the
I mean,
world.
come on.
Yeah. And a very talented guitar player.
Oh, he's an awesome.
Yeah,
guitar player.
absolutely. Who would-
And then
who would
he
think?
played with us. We organized that. Andy and I, or Andy became a tour manager for us when we did the Mike Francesa show.
Oh,
And
okay.
and he helped me put the band together and do that whole show. And so for the Ridgefield Playhouse show, we organized Bernie to come up and play with us, and it was really great.
Yeah.
The best quote I ever heard about Bernie Williams was Liberty said to me at the Ridgefield show. He said I went to the dressing room and he said, "He's really nice." And I was like, "Yeah, he's I told you he's really cool. He's like, no, he's a Yankee. He doesn't have to be nice to anybody. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that's so true. And I thought about it. But Bernie's just like, it's like talking to anybody. You know, it's so cool, and he's so nice.
And actually, and that's true, because as Met fans, and you know, we're losers. We admit that. We have no problem with that. I met Ed Kranepool at of all places at a Sheryl Crow concert. And you know, I don't know what he was doing there.
Was he selling popcorn?
No, I swear to you, I went up to him. It was John Mayer had opened up.
Dude, I would love to meet Ed Kranepool. The guy's a legend. So.
Well, that's what happened. John Mayer opened, so in between acts, I walked up to him. He was sitting just a few rows away from me, and I went up to him. I said, Mr. Kranepool, you know, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he was shocked he knew who I was, but then he said to me, would you like my autograph? Which I did. I laughed right in his face. But I took it. I have a Sheryl Crow ticket signed by Ed Kranepool.
I would love to meet Ed Kranepool. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, awesome. He's definitely a Mets legend. Okay, now.
Wait, before you go
sure.
on, real quick, we got to talk about all this baseball stuff. I played catch with Mariano Rivera because of him.
That's unbelievable.
And I got to hang out with Bobby Valentine, who's the greatest guy. But the fact that I sat next to Mo and got to tell Mo how I felt about like what he did for the Yankees, and got to play catch with him with Aaron and Richie's son and I and Richie all got to play. It was like the greatest thing.
And Coney was our pitcher.
This all happened in within a 3-month period. And David Cohn was the pitcher.
This is like Field of Dreams.
Yeah, it was like it's so fun.
We have actually a picture that you got with myself, you, Aaron, and Mo. And it's a great shot.
It's a best
It's a
picture,
crazy shot. Then you got a shot of him. We gave him a Lords of 52nd Street T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I think I saw that.
And he was like, one of these. He looked at it.
That's cool. That's really cool. And speaking of great guys, I have to get this out of the way, otherwise I'll forget. How great is your FedEx guy? Right?
Why?
Mark is he's a friend of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, so he lied to me. He told me that you guys had a whole big conversation about me. That's what he told me. Mark, you lied to me, Mark.
No, he's right. No, Mark is right. We did have a talk.
The good cover.
Yeah. No, it's not a cover. You know why? You know why I held off on it? He had this ground and there's express.
Okay.
There's two types of FedEx people, and we just had a bad incident with FedEx, and I can't remember if it was ground. That's why I thought you were talking.
I'm going to blame Mark anyway.
Because we were waiting for some gear to happen, and it never happened.
He mentioned that to me actually just the other day.
Get it.
Right. He said that something came in, you thought it was something else, you got all excited, it turned out that it wasn't it, but then, he got involved and helped out.
Great. Mark has helped me. He really has.
Mark's a good boy.
And FedEx was awesome.
He's. I think I talked to him in the coming Friday.
He comes to my house.
Yes.
He's a FedEx guy at the house.
Yep. I think I talked to him in the coming Friday.
He had helped me with
really?
getting this package delivered here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a good boy. I had to mention him.
It was a piece of gear. Don't turn around, but it's right behind you. It was a piece of gear that's right behind you that FedEx.
Well, I will turn around actually, because we're going to show off all this beautiful console here, because we're in this great studio, Cove City Sound Studios in Glen Cove. This is Richie's studio. It's been here how long?
35 years.
35 years. Amazing. It's a great place. Like I said earlier, I'm so into music. I'm still one of those geeks who read the liner notes. So I always see Richie's name on the Beach Boys album. And in fact, just last week, first time ever heard Phoebe Snow's "Rockaway," which you produced.
I produced it. Yeah.
Which fantastic album. I love Liberty's on it, and
Doug.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
about. I'm kidding. Doug's on it. David Brown is on it. I love the album.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just an amazing voice. But and then to see that you produced it, and you've had
with Greg Ladani, and may he rest. He's the guy who produced Toto. So I was in good company.
I didn't know I know who that
Warren
is.
Zevon, Jackson Brown, and Toto, and Phoebe Snow.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. That's something I forgot to put on my list of questions. She does a cover of Cove's Mercy, Mercy Me. Mercy. Thank you. But there's a male singing with her. Is that you by any chance? Because it lists you as background vocals.
Oh, I did background vocals, but I didn't sing. No.
You never do a solo, huh? Singing?
Oh, I don't want to clear the venue out.
Well, you do the background.
I do one.
When I give him a bath, he sings.
Yeah.
If
you bring the rubber ducky in,
he'll sing for you.
On The Stranger, when we play The Stranger, Dave and I sing the line together, the bridge together. That's the only thing he can sing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And I did a lot of singing with Billy too. I used to do all the Anger and Man parts, but now Malcolm doesn't.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
I've got some questions.
Okay.
Kenny Friedman. Well, a lot of people are watching it. But Kenny Friedman said,
Kenny Friedman is he plays with Wonder Story sometimes. You're familiar with them, yes?
I know Kenny, yeah.
Okay.
I know of him.
I've seen Andy's name on the retold page, but I'm not sure how he fits in all of this. Really no
It's really none of your
offense
business.
intended. He said, if you haven't already, can you please explain who he is in this context?
I just broke something on Rich's thing.
Oh, nice.
I manage the Lords of 52nd Street.
So,
Richie. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, so, okay.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, was it Kenny who asked?
Yeah, Kenny Friedman.
Kenny,
David Clark answered. He said, he said he manages the band and he is my father.
It's true. I am his dad.
okay, so this is the story. This band would not be really together if it wasn't for Andy. Andy was the keeper and the founder of Doug Stegmeyer's Facebook page, and he was so graciously asked by the Stegmeyer family to attend to this page. He got us all together. He was very instrumental in getting us into the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, and getting me to get the band together. I put the band together, and then Andy and I put it together for us to perform at the Hall of Fame. And he books the band. He gets us on stage. He gets us off stage. He keeps everything together for us. For without Andy, we would not have the Lords of 52nd Street. Now you're gonna pay me now?
Yeah.
No, that is the
I
truth.
actually, in the winter of 2012, I came here and met Richie for the first time, and I told him about the page that I was doing, and that I actually just came here for some pictures because I was running out of pictures, and I wanted some pictures. And then we got into this conversation, and it led to all this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the story of it. But Richie and I, I run the business end of it with Richie and Lib and Russell, and it's we have a lot of different agents, and but I kind of put everything in one spot and keep everybody on one track. And I know the band is my favorite band since I was a little kid. This is it's like growing up in the 60s and managing the Beatles now. It's like it's a big deal, and it's my dream. I was always in music management, but to be able to do this and work with him and Lib and Russell and the rest of the band is just it's the coolest thing in the world. And I was just a fan that had a background in music management and got real lucky, and so I'm very lucky and very thankful.
And how did you were a neighbor of the Stegmeyers? Is that how you got involved with them?
I knew Doug. I met Doug in 1988. I worked at a hardware store in Centerport. That's where I'm from. That's where Doug was living. Doug's mom was living down there, and Doug was living on Fleet Scope at the time. So I met Doug. He used to come into the store, and it was a big deal because I had posters of him on my wall before I met him and him.
So this was purely coincidental.
Yeah,
you just walked in one day, and you were like,
it was
holy
always
shit.
legend. My brother would see Billy and Lib and Doug fishing down at Huntington Beach, and Billy would ride his bike in Centerport because of the hills. He loved the hills. So, he was a big part of the area, and everybody would see him, and you'd leave him alone and things like that. But Doug was just really nice to me, and I always was amazed that there was this rock star guy that was a big deal to me, that was super cool. So, in 2012 or whatever, I started looking in the paper at that class for the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, and I noticed in the previous classes it didn't say anything about Billy was in there in 2006, I think it was. But Rich, Lib, Doug, Russell, they were not involved in it at all, and I couldn't believe that. This is Long Island. What?
Yeah, who else would be?
Who else would be?
Yeah, who else would be on the
put all these
list
other
if they
people
were?
in before you put these guys in? That didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't figure out. I thought it was a misprint in Newsday, so I went and researched it, and I'm very close with Doug's family still. I talk to them all the time. I took care of his mom for about 5 years when she was living down here by herself. This music is not it's not my passion. This is my life. This has become my life, and I do this for a living. I work with other bands and stuff. The Pie Tasters out of Washington, D.C. is a little plug. But the Lords are my thing, and it's what I was born to do. So,
Can you ask people to share the page?
Please share the page. Please share this video. Please hit the hearts and likes. Tell everybody you know about Tuesday Night with Tony and Knock 'em Dead Comedy as well. We're coming to Governor's March 3rd, and we're actually doing a little Billy Joel trivia on Friday at the Space. In case you didn't hear us before, the Lords of 52nd Street are playing at the Space this Friday in West
the
Valley.
answer is Downeaster Alexa.
That's right. Oh, you gave it away.
Sorry.
Ruined my whole game.
Game's over.
At 6 o'clock, we're doing some Billy Joel trivia. We also have some Lords of 52nd Street trivia. We have some general rock and roll trivia. Just, we got a little podium with, digital scoreboard and the buzzers and all the fancy effects. Just having a little fun before the show. You guys have, a couple of drinks. Go in and watch some great music and just have some fun with us. So that's our plug. Share the video. Tell everybody.
Come support us. I have a question,
Sure.
Andy, Tony, right through. You said that Billy rode his bike, the hills along Island?
Centerport. Yeah.
Centerport? Mm-hmm. That's when he wrote Summer Highland Hills?
That's right. Yeah. Yes. That's the famous Summer Highland Hills song. Yeah. Yes.
Great song.
No, is that true? Did he really ride his bike?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. See, I just learned something too.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
But definitely come and see us on Friday. It's quite a representation of the music that everybody loves.
Well, Centerport also is Sparks is like down the street.
Oh,
so that's
right.
Billy's. That was like the hangout. Huntington Village, Centerport are right next to each other. So that was Doug lived there. Lib lived in Northport. So that was like the general area where everybody would hang out.
Those videos that we did in black and white, does it say Sparks on them?
Yeah,
okay.
They're all from Sparks and Huntington.
Some great videos.
It is now a tanning salon.
Yes.
Oh, is
it is. It is now a tanning salon. I went in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're like, speaking of the retold page that Kenny was asking about, you're like Stutz. You just check out the old
locations.
locations.
That was like 3 years ago when I was.
Stutz is a freak.
I had a lot of time on my hands.
Stutz.
Mike is the best. Stutz is the best. Mike was actually super helpful in getting us going with the Music Hall of Fame, and if it wasn't for the completely retold page and those folks, we got a lot of support from them. And
Yeah,
Those
they're
guys
good.
are great.
They're good.
But Elizabeth
The
Weber,
The retold people are awesome.
yeah, Tom Needham and Elizabeth Weber, and there's a lot of people that were really instrumental in it. But I mean, it was just, it didn't make any sense. It's like having a Jersey Hall of Fame without the E Street Band in it. I mean,
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So
It's exactly like that.
I was glad to be the one that said, "Hey, dummies," and that's the fun.
I was at the Barclays Center when the E Street Band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
The Sidemen. Yes.
Right, and that was the thing. When Springsteen came out to induct them, he even said flat out when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which same night as Billy, by the way, he admitted flat out that it was his choice. He said that whether he was going to go in just himself or with the E Street Band, and he chose to just go in himself. And that so when the E Street Band was getting inducted, he admitted flat out that was a huge mistake, and a mistake he really regrets because Clarence didn't live to see himself get put in.
But Bruce is a special kind of a guy, I think.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But
so someday it'll happen. It's going to happen. So I mean, it's one of the things I'd love. Love
definitely deserve.
Oh, absolutely.
Which actually leads to one of the questions I had for you, Rich. Because one thing that you say on stage when you're doing your shows is you guys are not a tribute band.
Oh yes.
Can you mind elaborating on that?
Well, it's very easy. We are the guys that are on the records.
Right.
We are the guys that toured with Billy. We're the guys that are in the video, and those parts that you can sing and play are our parts from our musical standpoint. Billy allowed us to participate and to completing the songs with him. So that, in a sense, is we're not playing other people's notes.
Right.
We are playing the stuff that we created. And Billy was very, very nice, and it was a great relationship with Phil Ramone that we were able to add those parts. So we're bringing those parts now even better, I think, than we did back in the 70s.
Oh, you guys sound fantastic.
Than we did it. And you listen to some of the stuff that Liberty and I did, so the solos and the drum parts and things, along with Doug. I mean, that was the adding of all those parts made the songs what they are today.
And I agree, and I'll tell you why. And again, I don't play a single instrument, so my opinion doesn't mean shit. But I'm going to give it to you anyway. You mentioned doing your parts. Now, a lot of tribute bands will, and you have a solo to a song, a guitar solo, sax solo, whatever it may be. And, there are some songs where you can just play any solo, right? But then but if you're playing Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, if you're playing You May Be Right, they play the same solo that you created. In fact, speaking of Bruce, I don't know if you've ever seen it, there's a making of the Born to Run album. There's a video, right? And there's footage of Bruce telling Clarence what to play in the song Jungle Land, which is one of the best sax solos in rock and roll history, in my opinion. Bruce is standing there telling him what to play. He's humming it out for him. Where, you in my opinion, you deserve songwriting credit because that part, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, they play the same. They don't just play a different solo. You don't change the words when you're singing it. You don't change that sax solo. So to me, that's even more than an arrangement. And correct me if I'm wrong, but
it is what it is, and I'm so happy that I was able to just play the parts. No one told us what to play.
Right.
We just brought it at that moment, and I'm so grateful of that, and I'll forever be grateful for that because it'll forever be documented as that.
Right.
And that's my playing. That's my saxophone. Same saxophone that I used on the record, I'm using Friday night. You know, it's the same person. It's the same notes. And I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that.
How the fuck did we end up sitting next to this? All right, and thanks for that little segue, because that's another question I have. You have been using the same exact sax.
Yeah.
Why?
Saxophone's different than guitars and things like that. It's really like it molds to your hand. It's a piece of brass. It gets better as it gets older.
Really?
I think violin players will stay with wooden violin players would there are plastic violins, but they'll stay with their violin, their instrument forever. And woodwind players will stay with their instrument.
Oh,
it just gets better.
Rich and I are very
How long
close.
have you had your saxophone?
I've had it for
Like it's not the one you had in high school.
no. I've had, in all honesty, 2 saxophones.
Okay.
That I've used, maybe three, and I have one backup, and I don't bring any backup. When I'm on the road with Billy or the Beach Boys, or I will bring the backup with me. Why? Just in case.
Sure.
So it's in a road case. It's there, but I don't use any. If I do a gig, if I play the Star Spangled Banner for Yankee Stadium or for Glen Cove Little League, it's the
Or
same
Citi
one.
Field.
Check.
What's shitty field?
I don't know. It's a shitty.
Oh. We already are
but-
dad. You can't make fun
No,
of him.
I'm not making fun of anybody.
But I use the same horn for everything. I don't, like, oh, let me have my Telly or my Strat or Les Paul. Or so. I use the same horn all the time. It's just what it is. I'm also a victim of habit. And here's something, too. If there's any sax players listening, I've only had 2 mouthpieces in my whole career.
No way.
And one when I first started out, and the one I use now. And if you open up my sax case, which is right outside this door, I have both mouthpieces with me all the time.
Yes, he does.
All the time. The very first one I played on in high school, and when I first started out, to the one I use now.
Jeez, that's incredible.
And the one that I used in high school is the one that made a lot of the Billy Joel records too. So I just stay, if it works, if it's not broke, what is the metaphor? It doesn't have to be fixed.
And the one that you had in high school, was that like the one you got in like 4th grade to take lessons?
Yeah, my dad bought my first saxophone from Sam Ash, and he bought me a Kahn, and now I use Selmer. But he bought me that, and when he passed away, we found some of the payments, like it was $4 a month for 10 years, But he paid it off, and that was the one. And that being said, my dad then continued to buy every single one of my instruments.
Nice.
Every single one of them. And even when he passed in trust, he had money for me for a grand piano.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he never let me give him a seat at a show. He bought every seat. He never wanted to come.
No kidding.
He would buy a whole row or 2 at Madison Square Garden.
Really?
Yep. Never let me.
Wow.
He made my sax stands for me. He made my soprano stand for me.
It's going to make me cry.
Yeah.
His dad was.
My dad was awesome, man. And my mom, of course, too. But my dad was a very proud Italian man, and this was a great thing, which was one of the most emotional things for me. After I got done playing the Star Spangled Banner at the stadium for the playoff game, I went into my room. They had a holding room for me, and I just broke down and cried.
Oh.
And I said, Dad and Mom, they have passed now many years. I said, this was for you. I feel your vibe, but you really don't know. But I really felt them there, and it was really emotional for me.
Wow.
My dad took me to my first Yankee game.
Sure.
When I was a kid.
Well, yeah, that's what baseball. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All those memories of playing little league with you and your dad being there. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's something. On a lighter note, you mentioned Khan. So David Clark, who's watching, he's doing Star Trek references after hearing the word Khan.
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, you get that? No? You didn't get that?
Yeah, you should hear when we're on the road. He does it constantly, and
Yeah.
he's always.
You're sick of
he's
it.
hysterical. I love him.
Well, just quickly getting back to the sax. Now, I saw your interview with Donna Drake. Live It Up with Donna Drake.
Live it up.
Donna's awesome. She's a good friend of mine.
Awesome, man.
I love Donna.
Cool lady.
She got me right after being
Yes.
That was a hard thing for me to do because I didn't want to be on camera, and Andy organized that for me.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
It was a tough one because we talked about surviving, and I think we did talk about my saxophone back then.
Well, yeah, that's you mentioned. I think it was on there where you said sometimes your sax even gets its own seat on a plane.
Oh, it will. If
That's great.
It happened only once in Japan. And it's either that or I was going to take another flight, and they just got a seat for me. The promoter just got a seat for me.
Awesome. I love
But it's got to fit up on top, and I try to get on board before I get a pre-board, so I get it
It's
on.
an aisle seat.
Yeah. So it's important. I mean, I'm serious about what I do.
Oh, sure.
I'm really serious about
And,
this whole thing.
and then the guy packs up his own gear at the end of the show. He's worked in giant venues across the country, and he likes to make sure his stuff is put away the way it's put away. And that's. People always ask me, what's he doing? Don't you have crew? And I'm like, yeah, we have crew, but this is what he does, and it makes him happy, and that's good. I think so.
Think about it for a second. My instrument has been on over 150 million records sold. Okay,
Yeah.
Do I want some
Yeah.
stage hand, with all due respect, grabbing that thing? First of all, it's very, very fragile. You could bend it if you hold.
Oh,
if you
really?
hold
Yeah.
it- oh my God!
Oh, I always thought they were heavy. I have no idea.
It is heavy.
They are
It weighs
heavy,
30
but-
pounds or so. But the pads and how it covers. If you grab it the wrong way, you can bend it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna. And at the end of the show, people, you got to get out, move, got to do meet and greets or whatever. I'm gonna break down. And even with Billy and with Beach Boys, anybody I played with, I always break down my instruments.
Wow. That's like Hard Day's Night. When the guy from working in the TV studio, he starts hitting Ringo's drum, the cymbal. Ringo gets all mad. No,
Yeah.
you with me on that? No.
Yeah. No, I am. I totally
Yeah, don't touch
understand
his
that.
horn. Yeah, don't.
Well, that's what
totally
Ringo
understand-
says. Don't touch it.
I totally
Don't
understand.
touch me on.
You know.
Just like that.
Just like it, right?
It was amazing.
That's
Wow, I
exactly
thought Ringo was sitting there.
Yeah, he is.
Did I just hear Ringo?
Yeah. You ever work here? You ever record here?
No.
You've had some great people here.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Cheap Trick, and the list
Billy.
goes. Billy.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. We were looking at some pictures before Ray Charles. He showed me a piano that Ray Charles played on. It's mind blowing, man. It's mind blowing stuff.
A Dream Theater is a big client of ours.
Yeah, and they're huge because they're a Long Island band. Yeah, that's amazing to me. That's really amazing to me. Now, all right. So you mentioned going on Donna's show. Can we talk about that? Or?
Sure.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
We don't have to. But that was actually how we kind of got acquainted. Because we have some memories of some stories with the Big C, both of us affected our legs, and we're both happy that we're still here to talk about it.
Walking and talking.
And you seem to be moving better than ever.
Yeah, I have been really blessed. And when I was diagnosed with cancer, you don't know. When the doctor says to you, you're sitting on the examination table, and they go, "Tony, Richie, you got cancer." You go, "No, it's not me. You got the wrong room." But it was a reality for me.
Absolutely.
And it took me out. I had these
Everything
tumors.
stops. Your
Yeah.
whole world, everything.
I had these tumors on my spine, and it turned into lymphoma. And if it wasn't for the doctors and nurses and my wife and my sister-in-law, who and my son, and they were very supportive, and also this gentleman here was very, very supportive of me, and my advocates got me healthy.
The mental aspect
Yeah.
is so important.
And I got the neuropathy thing, and I was paralyzed, and I worked way through it. And I think Donna's show, I was still very fragile walking around, and I didn't want to talk about it until I knew that I was through the woods and I'm cancer free. I'm not in remission. I'm cancer free. It's not happening. And I'm out there, and I still I did physical therapy today. I'm still have this thing, a new word for a saxophone player, neuropathy. I have nerve damage on my legs, but they're working, and it's all good. And how are you feeling?
I'm great, man. If you need any help with legs, I'm here for you. Yeah, but same thing. Not in remission, totally cancer free. So, yeah, and honestly,
and we need to spread the word, because Andy, you saw me when I was sick and stuff, and you go, "Wow, is it going to ever happen?" But if you there 25 years ago, a lot of our diseases that we've got
Absolutely.
would be death sentences for us all.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that it starts here. It starts with your friends and your family and your advocates to keep you going. And there are treatments, whether they're barbaric or not. But I'm an example of the success of beating the disease, and you are too.
Absolutely.
And I was just in a hospital yesterday. I visited Mo. You know, Mo's.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
we went there. And it was weird. There was a lady that was next to her that was a cancer patient, and I talked to her. And you need to spread the word, and there's ways to get better, but it starts with here and your advocates, your family, and stay the course, and you'll get better.
Get better, Mo.
Yeah, all the best to you, Mo.
She's awesome. She's walking. She's going home tomorrow. Oh, today she went home.
Yeah, I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, she's
today.
on. She's watching.
She's watching. Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Good.
a lottery told us we're watching.
Cool. And that says a lot about you, that you take the time to go see somebody like Mo.
We went twice. Mo is awesome. Mo has been bringing me flowers, since 2006. But I got busted. She would bring me flowers to all the Billy Joel concerts and stuff, and I would take them and bring them home and give them to my wife and say, "Honey, I brought you flowers." Until she met Mo one day, and then we got.
Good idea, though.
Yeah. So we went to the hospital and we brought Mo flowers yesterday, Sunday.
That's great.
And yeah, and I agree. Spreading the word, and I do that too sometimes. I'll the guys that make this, for me, they'll reach out to me if someone's facing that or having issues. I'll go and sit and talk to them, and it makes a difference. And it even helps. It helps me.
I give you so much credit for what you've done. It's amazing, Tony. I can't even tell you how much credit and respect I give to you. And I there was a great with the Olympics on. I'm very competitive with sports. There's a commercial. I don't know if you've seen the girl, but she has a prosthetic, and it's the theme of the commercial is I can and I can't, right? And you don't want to say I can't. You want to say I can. So she's looking down at her leg and she can't move her legs because I can't do it. So they put a virtual reality thing on her and they gave her legs walking on a beach. She goes, I can, and she starts walking with this prosthetic, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it really is.
It
awesome.
really is, and I give you amazing credit for that.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow. I don't know where we're going. Yeah.
Well, you are.
That's
You're
why
really,
that's why
you're really
this-
great
this is
that
reality
way.
TV.
Like
This
if
is
someone's
reality,
sick or
man.
something, like we'll hear someone is in the hospital and doesn't feel well, and everyone else would be like, "Oh, we'll call," and he'll grab his jacket and go to the hospital. He does it all the time.
Yeah, I have done that, and it's I'm still not over being in the hospital for 6 months, and I just know it too well, and it weirded me out going to see Mo a little bit, but
She's home, by the way.
oh great,
Okay, good.
great.
Good. Yeah, I still get that way with my kids. I mean, I did my chemo in 2002 and 3, and I had to go every other week, and I had to stay there for a week. So I had to, my kids were 1 and 2 at the time, so they weren't coming. They weren't gonna come be around that or be a part of that. And so even to this day, saying goodbye to them, even sometimes it's just for a few hours. I'm like, fuck, I can't leave these kids now. But yeah, so it's still stays with you. It stays with you a little
I
bit.
understand.
It gets easier as time goes on.
But I'm still fresh. I'm 2 years clean.
Right.
But it's amazing that we're alive and God gave us a second chance. And now I'm giving this music back again.
Right.
That was the landscape of so many people's lives. And here, Liberty and I and Russ and Andy have put this thing together with Dave Clark. It's amazing that we can do that. And I get a lot of people that are very grateful that we are doing this. Now, Russell is also a survivor.
I did not know that.
Yes. Do you know his story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell a little bit?
Well,
Well, if you want to know. But
Russell's a survivor, and he's had an issue in his family as well. So, but it's a very important thing for us to talk about it. I mean, this is my best friend. This is not like a job that I talk to Richie like 5 times a day, and it was hard when he got sick, but he's doing good. And
we're killing it.
I mean, we had planned to do the band before, and then he got sick, and then it was crazy. But I mean, I thank God every day for him. So it's so fun.
We were booking.
We were 7 or 8 shows in. I had to cancel everything, but it didn't matter at the time. I didn't care. I mean,
which was amazing. All the people out there gave me such
Suffolk
support.
Theater, Dan at Suffolk Theater, Jeff
right.
at the Space. There was a lot of people that stood by us, and after Richie got better, they were the first ones to call me and ask, "When can we book you?" And You know, so it's cool. It's really amazing.
Right, and I would think that's even part of your healing process too. Coming back to play these songs that you haven't played in
my
30
God,
years.
Yeah. It was a longer time for me than Russ and
Right.
Lib. I had left. I did this place, had a family, and I went off and played with so many different people.
Right.
But for me to come back and play this now, I in all honesty, I was in other bands. And I had played this music before.
Right.
I played with the Lords before
Okay.
we created the Lords, so it wasn't like, wow, this is the first time I'm playing this in 30 years. I dabbled in these other bands, and,
Sure.
and I did cameos. I played I joined Billy again in 2006,
Mhm.
and then I did the Millennium Show in
Right.
2000.
Which
So-
I just saw the video of that. Did you see that was posted on YouTube? Yeah.
So I had played it, but we are so digging in. Liberty is insanely good. He's crazy, and Russ has a great niche in our band, and I'm doing my keyboard and saxophone parts, and Dave Clark is freaking amazing, and Dennis Delgadio's now in our band,
Yep.
who was the musical director for the UK Moving Out show.
Right.
Malcolm Gold was the musical director for the Moving Out Road show, and Doug Kistner, who's our favorite band member,
I love Doug Kistner.
plays second keyboard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's
And
our
so-
MVP.
So it doesn't get any better than this, and we are not a tribute band. We said that a half hour ago.
Yeah.
So this is the real deal.
It's hard to be a tribute to yourself. So.
Yeah.
It's fun.
How did you guys decide on the band? You know,
I did.
Richard.
I did.
You just
Wasn't like I could just say, Lib, we're doing this. And you know, it took a little while, and it
no,
took,
I don't mean Lib and Russ. I mean picking
Oh, that's
the Billy
musician.
Joel seat,
Yeah,
the
that's-
keyboard.
I mean, who else would you ask?
I
Yeah.
picked everybody.
So you knew who these guys were.
Oh yeah. I knew everybody, and it was just
He actually knew in the first conversation, when I had a conversation with him about it, and that Lib and Russell were on board. He gave me names, and I think maybe he gave me 8 names, and maybe 5 of them or 4 of them were actually in our band. So like he knew who he wanted right away. And when you want a musician, this is the guy.
Oh sure.
And we also when we were asked to play, Andy, when you put this together for the Hall of Fame, we were going to play one song. So
Yeah.
you know we kind of put the Lords, we put it together, but there was nothing more than that one song, which turned out to be, I think, 3 or 4 that night.
Yeah, well, we were smart enough to realize that they were asked to play one.
Oh, yeah, we
Rich and I
wanted
were like,
more,
let's do
yeah.
4 in the studio rehearsal, and we ended up doing 5. I think it was.
And then Ron Delsner got inducted the same night we got
Right.
inducted. He flipped out, called us into his office,
Yeah.
and he says, "You guys have got to go on the road and do this."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So-
that was a magical night, man. That was actually the first time I met you. But right, and bullshit that they made you guys wait till freaking midnight.
Oh, it was, I had worked on that for 2 years. They could have done it at 5 in the morning. I didn't care. I knew it was coming, and I was so excited. But
Yeah, of course.
you know, those things are hard to time out, and especially, you know, so they did a great job with it, I really think, and they, you know, the tributes and Billy's letter and whatever, you know, that was all really nice, but when they played, it was like, wow.
Oh yeah, that
You know,
was
it was just so
unbelievable.
fun to watch. And
Yeah.
then we had Blondie on stage, Doug's bass from the records, and so we try to represent it. The history is way more important to me than anything else. The history of this band and Billy, and you know, how it progressed over the years. So I mean, and this is like the idea. Even the staging is done 78 Madison Square Garden. We try to make everything as
Oh, is that
realistic
right?
as- absolutely. Richie and I worked tirelessly on this with Lib and Russ, and you know, this didn't work and stuff got thrown out the window. But I mean, if you like Billy Joel, this is the band. I mean, there's, you know, a ton of bands out there, great bands, but I mean, this is the guys that did it. You know, they toured on it, they played on the records, and I think it's fun that, you know, there's a lot of bands out there doing it, and there's a lot of room out there in the music industry for that right now. But I mean, there's only one original, and that's my band. So I think that's pretty cool.
You're all right with it when he says it's my band? You're all right
Oh,
with
yeah. It is.
that? I'm just kidding.
I call him.
You right with that? This is my leg.
no.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, this is the other one. All right.
Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah.
I like this.
You like this? Actually, and I'm not going to drop my pants, but right here it says Mets.
Woohoo!
I have seen it. I have seen a picture.
Oh,
of
you
it
have?
on
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah,
it's
those
pretty
are our
cool.
private moments. Of, yeah.
Did they charge you? Did you get a discount because it said Mets on it, or
It was actually
$50 off?
I found it behind the place in the dumpster. So I
Yeah,
just,
we
Cool.
know it's not going to work much, but
Oh,
That thing is amazing.
Got very chilly in here all of a sudden.
You know, actually,
No,
I was.
it's okay. That's
I
what,
was looking
that's what
to,
Mets fans go through.
I was looking to change it. I was actually.
Why?
I've only had Mets since I've had a leg.
Oh, you've had a different Mets one.
I've had different Mets ones, but it's always been Mets.
So what do you buy the leg and then you have somebody paint it for you?
You take a picture or a piece of cloth or anything, and you give it to them, and they
Silk screen it on.
yeah,
right,
it's
that's exactly it,
amazing.
Yeah, but it's all the same. The guys that they do the whole thing. But these are custom made. It's
And
not like
just
one size
here,
fits
not
all.
down on the ankle.
It's just here where this is where my stump goes in. So this is where my leg
Okay,
ends. So
that's awesome.
this shell. So I call it my tattoo.
Did you show Ed Kranepool?
I might have.
Like, hold on, Ed. Let me just give me a second.
I did that with Mookie.
Dude. I would love
And
Mookie
Mookie's.
Wilson, man.
Oh, you know what? My best story, my favorite story. I was on the field at a Ducks game with my son. We were there for some Cub Scout bullshit, and Cub Scout bullshit. And Gary Carter was managing.
Wee blows. He was a wee blow.
We below the Scoutmaster.
Okay.
So,
You better have that dump button.
Finally, Derek Derby takes a whole new meaning. Quit playing with your wood in there.
so I'm on the field with my son, and Gary Carter's managing the Ducks, and I had shorts on, and we're on the field to hold the flag for the national anthem, so it's seconds before game time. But I had shorts on. I make eye contact with Gary Carter, and I lift it up, so he sees the Mets. He comes running out. I mean, the game's going to start. He comes running out. He's grabbing the pants. He's lifting it so he can look at it, shaking my hand, talking. We took a whole bunch of pictures. I think we actually, God's honest truth, I think we actually delayed the game for about 5 minutes. Gary Carter came to me.
Such a cool guy.
Gary Carter was the
Yeah.
best. He was the best.
He died of cancer. He
Yeah.
was
He
not a
died
survivor.
he died of lung cancer, right? Or brain cancer?
Brain, I believe.
Him and Lenny Dykstra were, those guys were in the 80s.
You know during the All-Star game they go stand up for cancer.
Yes.
Stand up to cancer. I think
Stand
it
up
is.
to cancer, yeah.
And you're supposed to put somebody's name on it or something.
Right, yep.
And I'm not sure who he caught for, but was
Ron
it-
Darling.
Ron Darling.
My
said,
catcher.
My catcher.
Yep, that's right.
Was that not awesome?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Gary Carter was.
he was like
top.
one of the most liked people. People
Yep.
still talk about him. Like, it's
I had the pleasure of meeting him
Bobby
4
Mercer.
times.
Bobby
Mercer,
great
right.
Bobby Mercer, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Let's talk about.
All right, let's
Okay.
let's
All right,
let's
before we
just-
All right, so yeah, you mentioned that you've played with a bunch of other bands.
yeah.
The Beach Boys and Tommy Shaw,
Elton John.
Elton John,
White Snake.
White Snake.
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh.
no.
He had the hair,
Yeah, he
the
was-
mullet.
yeah, he was-
So what's it like for a musician after they have such a steady gig with a guy like Billy Joel? What's it like to how hard is it to get yourself out there to let, say, a Beach Boys band, let them know that you're available? Was that hard to do, or?
It wasn't hard for me. I got the calls. This is the first time I've ever had a manager with
Really?
Andy. I got the calls. People would call me. Elton had called me to play on the Little Genie record, that
Really?
21 and 33 record.
Wow.
I went to Cuba with Billy,
Right.
and I met Rita Coolidge there, and she heard me play with Billy, and she asked me to produce her record and play with her with Chris Christopherson.
Wow.
The Beach Boys we had opened up for back in the 70s,
Right, yeah.
with the original Billy Joel band, which was Lib, myself, Doug, and
Was it Howard? Was it
Howie
Emerson?
Emerson, yeah. And then Carl Wilson became my friend, and he asked me to join the Beach Boys.
Wow.
So it's that you're out there. Tommy Shaw had for Styx, when I played with Styx and Tommy Shaw, he had heard me play with Billy.
Right.
There's a giant period of time in between Glass Houses finishing and when he decided to write the Nylon Curtain and do that. So this guy, if you know him at all, he will not sit still for 5 minutes. So he just goes. So he'll go. He wanted to work. So that's what he went and did. And that's the story of that whole thing. But I mean, he's always working constantly with somebody new and always trying to improve and always trying to learn something else. And
I practice every day too.
yeah, I'll call him at midnight. And he'll be like on the phone. I'm just like, this is, it's so cool. And
Is that just your way of trying to get him off? Like, wait,
he's not playing. He's just going on.
Yeah, Tony just farts to get Andy off.
No, he just talks to get me off the phone. And that's the end of that kind of
Well,
thing.
you were also like building the studio too. You weren't just
Yeah, I
waiting
built the
to
studio,
play.
and
You were building
my
this.
house
This is
and
amazing.
my family, my son, and my most prized possession, my hero, Aaron.
Great singer, by the way.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome singer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's awesome. And he's in
he's
New Orleans
awesome at
right
a lot
now
of
doing a
stuff.
project. He's so I mean it's my timeline is there's never a lull, and I do things. I do it big as you can see, even getting cancer big. It wasn't just skin cancer. I took it to the end. Almost to the end. It wasn't a hard thing. The transformation was one gig to the next gig, and then I would play on a record for somebody, and then because I was in a recording studio playing a record, I met somebody, and then I would work with them, and then I did a country thing with Charlie Daniels for a long time.
Oh, is that right?
And then I worked with Roseanne Cash,
Right.
and Rodney Crowell, and Vince Gill, and Pure Prairie League. And all these great country
Great,
bands.
yeah,
I
those
did
good
that.
bands.
I did that for about 5 years.
And that's how he got the Billy gig. Lib and Doug had done Meter Leader for Sesame Street, and
That's right.
Doug's brother Al was the studio was producing the hit with the track.
Engineering and producing.
Richie came in and did the track, and he said, "Hey, you play keyboards?" And he's like, "My brother's right."
My brother. This was a spot for. It was called the Meter, the Leader, and the Gram.
The
It was, I
Gram,
think,
right,
for,
right.
for Sesame Street or something.
Oh, wow.
And Doug and Lib had just played on it. I came in the next day, and Al Stegmeyer, Doug's brother, said to me, "Oh, my brother just joined this guy Billy Joel." And I said, "Oh yeah, I know Billy. He was Piano Man."
Right, sure.
So and I think he had the sophomore record already out, the Entertainer record, the Street Life Serenade. And so he said they're looking for a keyboard player that plays saxophone verse and sings. And I said, I do all that. And they had another guy there, this English guy, Mark Almond from the Mark Almond Band, or was it Johnny Almond from the Mark Almond Band, and he was doing something with Billy at the time, and I just was the next guy. And I filled in that thing. Then I say this at the gigs all the time. The first song I played for them was New York State of Mind.
Right.
I played for Billy. That was a song I recorded and played
Right.
for him. And it just kind of happens that way. And I think you have to be ready. It's like a ball player.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the bench, but when they go, it's your turn. You got to be ready. You got to grab the bat, and you got to be ready to hit the ball.
Sure. Yeah.
So you just can't have your horn sitting in a case and going, oh, I'll wait for the call. No, you got to be ready.
Was it whether it was when you're first joining Billy or after or any time at all? Was there any but that nervousness of God? I hope I get a call soon. Like never worried about money or if that's too personal. But
No.
because as a performer, I go through that myself.
I always did well. I mean, before Billy, when I was 13, I was playing Broadway shows, and then I had my own little wedding band, and I played bowling alleys and.
Sure, you just gotta where the gig is. Yeah.
Billy came to see me play somewhere on Route 110. I think it might even have been a bowling alley or something. Some ST4, one band played this. I forget what it was, but I always did gigs. I always made money doing it.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Since I've been really young, and so,
Right.
and I'm frugal. I save, I invest, so the money never got in the way. The more money I make gives me the more free time to make music.
Sure.
And if I make the music right, then I get paid to do it, which gives me more free time to make more music.
Sure. Which again comes back to the studio. I mean, I would just like you said, you never really had a job. I mean, this is just it's magical. I would think just. Whether it's Dream Theater or Cheap Trick or Phoebe Snow, I mean, to make music all the time is just what a life that must be.
Yeah, it
Except
is.
when he comes knocking on the door.
Yes.
It's a real thrill.
Doug Batchelor wanted to know if you ever worked with Kieran Carpenter.
That was Doug and
Liv,
Russell.
yeah, Russell wrote a couple of
Liv.
songs for her, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Too.
I actually recorded a couple songs of Russell's.
We were doing a record. Who asked that?
Doug Batchelor.
Doug.
Doug.
If you're listening, Doug. Phil Ramone actually produced that record, and we were doing one of our records, and Karen wanted the band, and it just wasn't any saxophone on it, and I thought there was saxophone on every song, but I didn't get to play on them.
Stupid Karen.
Yeah,
Carpenter.
but she had used Russell, Doug, and Lib. Who
That's
it? Has it? Yeah. I would have loved to. I thought she
It
was
was
awesome.
Phil.
Oh, what a
Phil.
voice! Yeah, and she was a great drummer.
Yeah.
She could
She
really
was a
play.
great musician.
Yeah, absolutely.
She played a lot of stuff.
So how was it?
Any other
Sorry,
questions?
I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so
Funny. Any other questions?
No, I mean there are a lot of retolders that are like, what's the set list going to be like on Friday?
Oh, shut up and wait. Be
so
surprised.
if I would ask those questions, you're going to be like, shut up. Is it going to be changed from?
There is. I'm going to honestly say there is something I'd like to say about the set list.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a lot of my originals.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to do all my stuff.
So
All jazz.
Two KG songs.
Well, I'm
Then he's
covering,
going to do his record.
well, that's my Kenny G tribute band that I have.
Do you want to tell them about
Kenny F.
who we're having? Tom?
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about that.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
We are inviting, and she's going to sing with us, the star from Rock of Ages, Carrie St. Louis, and she's an amazing singer, and she's a tremendous Broadway star, and I went to see her at an off-Broadway production, and she's going to sing with us.
An exclusive right here.
Yeah, and Doc Lou's going to play some accordion.
Yep.
So. It's going to be great. We're really excited about it.
I'm getting a lot of questions about David Brown and Bernie Williams. Like, is there anything in the future with them?
Nothing with David Brown.
Okay.
David's up in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and Dave, if you're watching, he's awesome. But we've got the guitar chair filled with Russell and Dennis right now, so we're not going to add another guitar to it because it really wasn't a lot of guitar in the band anyway.
It's not a guitar group.
So to have 3 guitars in the band would be crazy. But Bernie Williams is welcome anytime he wants, and he's tremendous. And you'll see him again with us. He had a great time. If anyone saw the Ridgefield show, he was really, really good, and it was a lot of fun to have him. And he will be back with us again. There's no doubt about it. And Andy and I will work with him again soon.
If you're in England, we actually, believe it or not, we do get some people watching from England. Pam Murkoff, who's always watching. Pam. You could catch David Brown. He's going to play with Elio coming up in May. They're going to be doing some shows. So you can catch David there.
Sandy LaPel wanted to know if you were going to be doing any type of James Summer Highland Falls combo.
Summer Highland Hills now, right?
Yeah, Centerport.
We will do one of those 2 songs. I have them in the set list. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick yet, but if you come to the show,
tell you.
But you come to the show, one of those 2. I happen to have.
She absolutely is coming.
She is. I happen to like both those songs very, very much. I wish they were more popular because Summer Highland Falls is one of the greatest songs ever.
So pretty. It's such a pretty song.
And so is James, too.
James is awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome song. There's a great video of us doing James to.
It was on a TV show or something, right?
Was it the Great Whistle Test?
Yeah, it's on there.
Is it on there?
Yeah.
That was fun. I was in my.
No, it's not.
No, it's
It's
not.
not
No, it's something
Old Grey
else.
Whistle.
No, it's on.
Right, it definitely was not that because we were all on a straight line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some
You
TV
can
show.
find it on
Is
the
it,
Essential Billy Joel
yeah.
DVD. It's on there, but I don't know what it's from. But that's where it was released.
Great songs. Billy is amazing. You said you're in awe sitting next to me. I was in awe sitting next to Billy. I mean, to listen to this man write and sing and do what he did and is doing is just amazing. And in every 100 years in a generation, there's a person like him, and that's the guy for me. That's the pop icon of songwriting and playing. And Billy came here also and did his classical record here. So I heard him in this room.
That's something.
He played the classical record on a keyboard that was right there, and played me the classical record. And he didn't have names for the songs. And he had a piece of a napkin with maybe some of the song titles. He's brilliant. He's brilliant
on that wall, huh? Holy crap!
He's brilliant. And Yankee came in and we transcribed the whole record and played the whole record here. But Billy's amazing. He's an amazing player and songwriter and singer and harmony, and he knows his histories. He's a brilliant man.
One thing I find brilliant, Richie Cannata, is your solo album. Been playing it a lot. You mentioned your mother before. Anna C is just beautiful. And I'm a big rocker, so I found I don't know how it's pronounced. Parati?
Parati, yeah.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Parati is for you.
Parati.
Oh, what is it for you?
For you. So I wrote that for Julio Fernandez.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just a real funky.
Yeah.
I just love that album.
There's something to be said about the smooth jazz record that I did. I was asked to do a smooth jazz record. I'm not a jazzy guy, and I'm definitely not smooth. I'm just fucking scruffy guy from Brooklyn. Okay. So, but I was asked to do the smooth jazz record, and I did. I got all these great players. But if you listen to the New York State of Mind version I did, now in smooth jazz statistics, if you get streamed and played whatever it's about 300, 400,000 times, you've done very well with that song.
Okay.
I got streamed 1.9 million times.
Nice.
With New York State of Mind. Now I had Julio play on it, Fernandez, and Bernie Williams played on it.
Oh, really? He plays on that?
Bernie plays on that song. He plays a guitar solo on that song.
Wow.
On New York State of Mind. There's a bridge I had him play. Oh no, he plays a whole verse.
Okay.
It's a standard at Bernie shows to do New York State.
Yeah, we did that with Bernie Williams, that version.
So I got it off iTunes. There's no, the geek who reads the liner notes, there's no liner notes on that.
I'll give you.
Yeah, if you ever have a chance, go see Bernie Williams play. I mean, I know people that think, when I tell people now that he plays guitar, people are like, really?
Yeah.
If he does a show somewhere, just go see him play. It's insane.
Yeah, he's really
Guy,
good.
and he's the best.
Greatest.
That's actually my complaint about your website. There's nothing that lists everything that you've been. I don't know if there is such a list, but I mean it's got to be huge. But
it's crazy.
I would love to.
It would fill up the internet. But you
That's
don't have time
fine.
for that.
I would love to make myself a little Richie Cannata set of every. I'm a completist. I would love to have that.
Well,
I would.
maybe I should. I don't know. I'd let it. I'm more concerned about this Friday night.
Right.
This Friday night.
This Friday night at the Space.
You know,
the Lord's 52nd Street.
Space@westbury.com or Ticketmaster. Get your tickets.
Oh, we do a meet and greet, which is really cool because we will come after the show and shake hands with everybody, take a picture,
Yep.
sign an autograph.
Stay till the last.
Do we have any
gone.
vinyls left?
Yeah.
We have this vinyl.
Yeah, we have a few.
That's amazing. We have a few vinyls left of the Stranger record that's a picture disc of which we sign and that's there. And can we talk about the
We'll have,
merch?
yeah, I mean, we're going to have a special shirt there that was designed for us by Grand Slam Productions, who's helped us with the promotion of the show, too.
Frank's great.
My buddy Frank.
Yep.
And he's really helped us out. So we'll have a special shirt just for the show. It's a limited number. So get them while you can.
Frank's done amazing. Grand Slam Productions has done amazing for us.
Yeah, they're good.
Thank you, Frank. Man, I can't even tell you the things he's done for us. Great. Channel 12, Carol Silver,
and Jeff Siegel, too. Jeff Siegel, God bless him, he always steps up when we come. We come to that venue. Ashley and everybody at the venue is always great to us. But Jeff is, Jeff was really great to us when we started out, and we had to cancel and go back to it. He was one of those guys that's
canceled because of the weather.
Because of the snow.
And
that's another amazing thing, we booked that show. Okay, I'm going to say it now. Okay, 'cause Jeff's going to get real mad at me because Jeff and I booked this probably in November, and we both said on the phone. I remember I was sitting in the parking lot at the gym, and I said to him, "It's going to snow. So what's the difference? What day we pick anyway?" And it's actually we're looking at it. It's going to be 50 degrees and raining on Friday.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Love it. So come on out.
And Jeff Siegel is very high up on the ladder at the Space, and it's our home. And he's also the lighting designer.
An amazing
lighting
job.
So this is our home gig, other than me playing here in Glen Cove. But we have the mayor of Glen Cove is coming. The deputy mayor of Glen Cove is coming. The commissioner, police commissioner of Glen Cove is coming. The mayor of Westbury is coming. Jackie Martlin's coming.
Really?
No, Jackie's not coming. No, I'm just kidding.
Jackie Martlin's coming.
Man. Wow, that's cool.
But don't. It's also we talk about.
I'm proud of that.
I'm proud of.
You should be.
But I'll leave Jackie alone. He comes to the show.
No,
I'm just saying.
Jackie's going to go.
One of the great things about this show is it's for first responders, for our appreciation of first responders. So we
it's going to be something special for
police
them.
and fire as well. So there'll be something special going on. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
You mentioned Channel 12 just this morning. They were talking about the show.
It's been running all day.
Right, but Carol Silver said, "That's my favorite band in the whole world." She said.
Yeah,
she did.
Carol Silver's the best.
Another Hicksville alumni.
Carol Silver
like
and
Sally and I.
Carol Silver and I go back to WLIR days.
Sure. Yeah.
She was in the newsroom, and I was a guest DJ with Michael Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, LIR broke us. Basically, they were very
LIR was
supportive
huge
with Dennis
back then,
McNamara and all the rest of those guys.
Yep.
And Carol's been a dear friend of ours and my family forever. I can't wait to see her.
She always supports the band, and
I'm gonna text her tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll send her an email
Quickly, because we're starting to get late. All right, so Lord's 52nd Street this Friday. I know it's been talked about a lot, but where'd the name come from?
Phil Ramone gave us that name, and we did the 52nd Street record. He came in and said, "Man, you guys are the Lords of 52nd Street," and he made these jackets for us that had a configuration of our logo that we own now.
Right.
And we had it tweaked. Somebody tweaked it. I don't know. Somebody, but it's the logo. It's the same logo tweaked a little bit, and that came from Phil. And Phil said, "You guys are the Lords of 52nd Street," and we all got these cool baseball kind of jackets. I think there was only like about maybe 7 were made.
it was the only thing we could have called it. And when I told him, when I suggested it, I think you know, I think Lib at first was kind of like, I don't know. And then after Day, it was like, that's what we should call the band.
It was a normal. When you said it was just, everybody's trying so hard to find a name for
Let's
this.
call it some cheesy name of a song. It's like, that's so, I don't know, that's so cover bandish.
And we were,
we're not a
according to
cover
Phil
band.
Ramone, the Lords of 52nd Street.
Yeah.
And the record was done on 52nd Street, which was called Swing Street back in the day, which was where A&R Studios were, where we did the record. So there's a lot that ties into that.
Sure, right.
And we own it. We're part of it. We are the Lords. We have a great logo. Andy's been doing great with the merch.
Mm-hmm.
He'll show you his tattoo of it on his leg too. He's got
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
It's on his leg though. At least
For the X-rated Tony Tuesday night with Tony.
we actually have, which I haven't.
Steamy Saturday nights with Tony.
Yeah.
We actually haven't posted yet, but Jeff actually he put on one of your songs when we were with him last week, and he did a little example of his lighting
Light
genius.
show.
What did he
Yeah.
play? Angry Young Man? No, only Good Night.
Oh,
I
good.
forget now. But we no, it was interesting.
It is good.
Oh,
I watched
I
it. I
thought
thought
you
it was
beat-
really cool.
You didn't watch it. I didn't post it yet.
No, I didn't watch it. People ask me things all the time. I say, yeah, I watched it. I don't know.
Jeff is awesome.
Jeff is the man.
Jeff is
Jeff
great.
is awesome.
Absolutely funny guy.
It's so good to be part of this, and you know we're a bunch of Long Islanders, and we've traveled around the world, and it really happens on Long Island for us. This is a great time to be alive and to be doing this music.
And also I want to say on March 10th, we're playing at the Ike in Hanover, Pennsylvania. And then we're heading to Florida at the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
The 24th, we are in Tampa, Clearwater with Three Dog Night. On Sunday, we're
Wow.
in Jacksonville with Three Dog Night, which
That's
is
a
the
good show.
25th. And then the
It's actually
28th.
it's one dog.
I was
The
about to ask
28th,
that.
yeah, pretty much. The 28th, we're back in West Palm at Duncan Theater, and then we're in Benell, Florida, which
One
is
dog
Palm
and two
State.
puppies.
And then we're back in Tampa the following Friday night before we fly home on Saturday. So
Nice.
The upstaters are a little angry and want to know when you're going to be coming up there.
Where-
Upstate New York.
we, July. I have to. I'll put the dates up soon. I haven't got a final contract yet, but end of July.
Okay.
Is Melissa watching?
No, I haven't seen Melissa, but
Oh,
she could be.
I
might have missed it.
upstate.
No, it was actually
You mean like Buffalo upstate, or
Yeah, this is going to be at the end of July.
yeah?
Okay.
We're coming up there. We're spreading out. We're going to be
Lori
everywhere.
Collado.
Yeah, Lori came to the
North
horse
County.
racing
North
gig
Country.
thing we did.
She comes to the space, doesn't she?
Yeah, Lori's
she
come
comes-
down.
She comes
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But Melissa has that great show up there in
What's
Syracuse.
What's
Yeah.
the horse racing place that we played?
Palm
Syracuse.
or
No,
Saratoga
Saratoga.
Springs.
That's where she lives. So that's
Yeah,
where-
Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga. That was a fun little thing outside with.
We're playing on the United States side of the border. At the end, then we're playing. I don't have to look at a schedule, but it's close to Albany, and that'll be at the end of July. So I think it's
Scotia? Is it near Scotia?
No, we played it
Okay.
last year. That Street Fest we did last year.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun.
we're doing that again. Yeah.
Good Italian restaurant.
I'm just letting them know now. He's like, oh, I just give him a
Guys,
date.
I'll say it
Everybody
again.
wants.
I'm concentrating on
Friday.
Friday.
Right.
His
This
favorite
is-
show is his favorite show of all time is Friday.
It's Friday.
Everything
I'm
is
here,
Friday. And,
I have a clean shirt and everything ready to go.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow, that's good to know. So, all right, but not to take away from Friday. Can I ask about Monday nights?
oh yeah, sure.
And then we'll probably wrap it up at that point. But
Monday night, again, like Andy said, I don't, I'm not an idol at all. And for the past 25 years, I've done my Monday night jam, which started out in the China Club. It went to the Cutting Room. It went to Decade. It went to one other club, and now it's at the bitter end for the past 10 years. Every Monday night, we start about midnight. I play till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I invite anyone who wants to sing and play with me. Now, the Piano Society, I don't know if you know what that is. There's a Piano Society that's coming. They're coming in March again, and all these people that want to play Billy Joel songs, all these piano players, they want to play with me, so they're coming. We do. It's an amazing night. You sign up. I have a great band, my jam band. It's a totally different band.
yes, mm-hmm.
Totally different band.
Jim Moran, right?
Jim Moran and Kevin Burgandy and Benny Harrison and Julio Fernandez and George Panos and Frosty Lawson.
Frosty.
Frosty's awesome. It's really great. If you really want to play, and I let everybody get up. I don't leave until everybody plays for me on a Monday night.
Sleep? Does that ever?
What's today? Tuesday? I got home at 5 o'clock this morning, and I went to physical therapy today, and I've been at the studio the whole day. I went home, I had something to eat, and came back here. So I'm going to sleep tonight.
until Friday's show.
No, I
He'll work a little while after we leave, and then
I actually will practice after you guys leave.
he'll leave.
Wow,
He'll work.
man.
He works. We talk till almost sometimes it's 11 to 12 at night. We'll talk, and he's still, thinking about stuff. So.
Incredible.
I just love what I do, and
I mean, how fun would it be to be Richie Cannata?
Nah, you don't want to be me. You don't
So
want
it's,
to be me.
would you want to sleep if you were him? So.
Nah, you don't want to be me.
All right. Actually, before we get to our weekly trivia, I just have two quick questions. One, and this is just, again, because I'm a geek and I love this stuff, but do you guys ever consider some kind of release with the Lords? Whether it's a live concert or studio, anything? Is that ever consideration? Am I allowed to bring that up?
Andy should answer this, and I'll tell you what I feel about it. We've already done it, Tony. Our discography and our records are there.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be more problem to try to re-release it.
Hey, I got an idea. If you want to hear it, go by The Stranger or 52nd Street or Glass Houses. They played on all those records.
But let me tell you what, and again, because I'm a geek who loves this music and has all these thoughts, but I would always, because you guys do it in concert, and you did it with Billy back in the day, where you played songs that you didn't record with him. Songs that, like Somewhere Down, Somewhere Along the Line, and Traveling Prayer.
Sure.
I'd be interested to hear you. That's what I'd be interested to hear you guys record. Songs that you guys weren't involved with originally. Especially, actually, stuff from after you guys didn't play with them anymore, because your take on that stuff I would find very interesting.
Yeah, I would love
There's a lot of stuff involved with doing something like that. But I mean,
absolutely, yeah. But I'm just sharing my fantasies.
You know something?
It's a cool idea, actually.
It's a very cool idea. And if you come Friday night, we're going to do some.
There's going to be some surprises.
Yeah. But there's the legal side of that too, and there's licensing, and there's publishing, and there's a record company, and there's a guy called Billy, and it just might stir up something that we don't want to get into.
Okay.
I
didn't.
And due respect,
that's the fair.
Due respect to that, and we're not going to do any originals. This is not an original. Actually, they're all originals.
Well, true. Right,
but no, like
Richie music.
Yeah, no, not something that we wrote now. But we're being true to that music, and true to that era, and true to what you want to come and see us do, and see us stand up on the stage and do it.
Oh, and not that this really doesn't really fall in line with it, but talking about staying true to that music, I think it was the first time you played the Space, which was, I think, your first
February
gig.
2016.
When you guys played Everybody Has a Dream, I mean, I personally have just said goosebumps, man. That was just unbelievable.
That was a great call.
That show was 3 months in the making. Like, I mean, we do the show Friday. The shows are, we don't, with these shows, especially the Space, there's a lot of thought and work that goes into it, meetings, and it's not like you just call up a venue and say, okay, we're coming, and here's how much money you owe me, I want to check, and this is what time we're loading. It's not like that at all.
Andy and I went to the First Baptist Church, if that's correct, in Westbury. And we went there 3 times to the church, and I went and played the organ and rehearsed the choir.
That's cool.
We did the same thing for Staten Island.
And,
yeah. I mean,
we went to the church.
We drove to Staten Island at like 8 o'clock at night. We did that.
There's never a good time to drive there.
Yeah, especially unless you're going to see Vin Innocente, my man. Man, out there at the beautiful St. George Theater.
About
we love the St. George Theater.
Forget about it, Vinny.
Forget about it.
So,
all right.
So to answer that question, it would be great, but I could. It's already been proven.
We just want to get the show. We want to get the show on the road a little further west and a little further south too. So, I mean,
California.
There's a lot of places that I love. And that's another thing I love when people.
That's right. Richie's got to get out.
There's a lot of things that go into a show, and there's lots of them involving scheduling. And I love everybody's. They want us to play places, and I take great note in people that say, play here and play there. And I, believe me, this is my livelihood. So, but like, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like I'm ignoring people, asking me to go places, but I mean, it's a lot. We have to take 8 people on the road, and everything has to be exactly right. We didn't go on the road and just do it for peanuts. We didn't go on the road and do it half-assed. We're doing it the right way. These guys are being treated the way they should be treated, and I'm not going to go on the road and do anything less. So,
amen.
That's how we do it, and we're
I
going to
thought that's why he had Danny Martins. I thought he just broke kneecaps or something.
Who's Danny Martins?
Who's Danny Martins?
Danny Martins is my boy, bro. Are you kidding me? We're going to see Danny.
You hear that?
We haven't seen Danny Martins in a long time because he's got another job. So he'll be at the Space on Friday. I'm very excited to see Danny. I haven't seen him in a while. He's probably about this big now.
I know, yeah.
Every time we see him, he looks less and less. He looks great.
And then when he shaves, then he looks like he's 12 for crying out loud.
Yeah, I know. He's 58.
Is he really?
I read his checks out. Yeah, he's 58.
No, I just busted him, bro.
Danny's like 24.
22 years old.
But he's another one, and he's a guy that deserves credit because when we
he stayed out of jail.
He got out of jail. When we started this, he was everybody offers to help you, and Danny always he would drive our gear, and we were in his van, and Danny.
Florida.
We took Danny was the people like everybody gives you the great applause, and if you ever need anything, Danny actually did it.
Hey, we carried an amp or two out once or twice, didn't we, Sally? Yes, we did. We carried amps. Yeah.
No, you guys are always great. But, I mean, Danny was a big part of that whole band. So, shout out to him.
Absolutely.
Much respect.
Absolutely. Okay. So now the big question, this is what we'll end with before I trivia. The big question. Friday night, how exciting is it to have Knock 'em Dead Comedy there doing some trivia with you guys? Holy shit, Rich. Holy shit.
It is. Very well.
He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have trivia questions about you, pal.
We are very excited.
Richie Cannata trivia questions.
Liberty, Russell, Richie, and I are very excited to have Knock 'em Dead Comedy do.
Thanks for that answer. Thanks.
Sure. And we love Knock 'em Dead, and you guys are going to do some cool trivia and have some fun. So come early and come drink at the bar.
Yeah, we'll be in the lounge at 6 o'clock. So
awesome.
come on in, have a few drinks, and laugh with us. We're going to do some Billy Joel trivia, get bragging rights. Big prize, you get to meet the band.
I was never told that. So
well, they're doing the meet and greets after. So that's the joke. See that you get to meet the band.
All right.
Forget it. See, that's why I do the comedy and he
You get to take one home with you.
Yeah.
You do comedy? Oh.
Hey, you enjoyed our shows. You've been there.
I love your shows.
March 3rd, we'll be at Governors. Come check us out.
Governors.
Governors, we'll be back there. And if I may, just a little self-plug. Details are coming soon, but you may hear a familiar voice on Governors Radio coming soon.
I saw you doing some radio this morning.
That was a little test run.
Cool.
Governors Radio. They have they're affiliated with
iHeart. You got a face
iHeart.
for it, baby. You got a face for it.
And I won't ask you to come on and be a guest.
No, please don't.
All right. So before we wrap it up, like we do every week, we're going to do our random trivia questions. This is where we just come out with any old trivia questions. Has nothing to do with anything. We may sneak in some topics that these guys may know about. They can answer. They don't have to answer if they don't want to. You guys throw in your answers. And I don't tell you if you're right or wrong until the end. We go back and do them all over again. This is really nothing, just for comedic effect. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm here. I have no idea what you're doing.
Richie had this on the way to gigs. That's so true.
It's just random, stupid trivia.
Yeah, and you don't have to feel pressured that you're getting the answer because people write in.
Nobody's feeling any pressure, believe me.
Okay.
All right, first question. This is very easy. George Costanza was a longtime employee of what sports franchise on Seinfeld?
Oh my God!
Told you it was easy. Okay. In what mountains is Camp David? In what mountains is Camp David? See, now you guys get into it. You start thinking, oh, that's an interesting question. All right. What sporting event is also called birling? B-I-R-L-I-N-G.
You tell you Berlin and the T in there? That's what I would think. I think like some Archie Bunker
Was
would
that
say.
English?
Berlin? That's what Archie Bunker would say. What's Berlin? Is the water Berlin, Edith?
You're so weird.
I love All in the Family. All right.
What song contains the line, I feel stupid and contagious? That's a song lyric. Name the song. See, I'm getting you guys. You see that? All right. Or maybe get out of here.
I already saw it.
All right. So this one you might know, Rich. What was the last song John Lennon played for a paying audience? A paying audience. Not a TV appearance or anything like that. A paying audience in concert. What was the last song he played?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Well, Lib definitely.
Russell went in there.
I gave Liberty some Beatles CDs, and he gave me the biggest hug.
Mike Stutz said Teen Spirit.
Oh, I feel stupid and contagious. That is correct. Smells like Teen Spirit.
Mike
Stutz. Another Beatle question.
Oh, wait. And
What?
Loria Colato said Appalachian Mountains.
That is correct.
That's right.
That's correct. Another Beatle question, easy. What is the first Beatles song that George Harrison used a sitar on? You even know who the Beatles are?
Who?
Right. Not the Who. They're another band. All right. All right. Let's see who can. Let's see who can. Oh, well, because you're peeking, son of a bitch.
Mike Stutz said Elton Live.
It is Elton Live, but what's the song that Lennon played on? That was his last. It was with Elton, yes. He did 3 songs with Elton that night.
Within You, Without You.
No.
Captain
Love You
Fantastic
Too.
Something.
No. It's a Beatles
Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood is correct. That's
That
the
was
first one.
Kevin Mocker.
Kevin!
Kevin Walker. Great photographer.
Yes, very good. Mocker's photos.
Yeah, he's a big Yankee fan, Kevin.
I love
I
him.
bet.
Loves the Yanks.
Loves him.
I'm surprised you let him into your
Yeah.
shows.
I feel sorry.
He's not wearing a Red Sox hat.
He always does.
No, he doesn't.
He knows better. He knows better. In which section of the orchestra does a saxophone sit?
What's
In an
section?
orchestra?
Yeah,
What
what
do you
section
mean?
of the
Oh,
orchestra?
I know that.
Right, that's why I asked it. 'Cause
It's in the center section.
what's it called?
What? The woodwind section.
That's what I'm looking for. Woodwind section.
It's in the back near the rear.
It's next to the B3.
You keep it over there, by there. All right? That's what section.
How many reeds does a normal saxophone use?
One.
One.
Oh, very good.
I used to play saxophone.
How about an oboe? Dos.
2.
How about a bassoon? Dos.
This great saxophonist, one of the very greatest, has an African Orthodox church in San Francisco named after him. Who is it?
African.
Say it again.
Stop. An African Orthodox church in San Francisco is named after a great jazz saxophonist.
I hope it's Coltrane.
Your hope would be fulfilled. It is Coltrane.
I thought it was the Clarence Clemens Community Church or something. I didn't know what was going to happen there. I thought I heard jazz and I went out the window.
Coltrane's from Long Island too, by the way.
Yes, I knew that. I actually knew it.
He used to ride his bike on the hills in Centerport.
At Summer Highland Hills.
Yeah,
That's
Summer
he
Highland.
played the solo on that,
He
didn't
did, he did. He loved it. He was so good at it.
he? On the trombone.
He's our guest next week. I don't know. He'll have nothing to
His
say.
bones. Yeah. There's some dirt in the seat.
How many games did the 1990? How many games did the
125.
The 1990 Yankees win? Well, I guess if you count the series. right?
125.
All right, we'll go with
Wow.
that. Regular season was what?
90.
No.
102.
Keep going.
Wow.
It was 105, wasn't it?
104.
I have 114.
Oh, that was the 114 win game. That's 9. Okay.
That was some team.
125.
Wow, it was like 11 games. It was like 11 games to win the World Series that year. Wow.
They swear they just rolled
Oh,
over.
yeah, that was some year, man.
Wow.
In 2005, Alex Rodriguez became the first solely right-handed Yankee hitter to hit 40 home runs in a season since 1937.
Whoa, who did that?
Who accomplished that in 1937?
37.
It's obvious if you think about who
Was it
played at
Susan
that
Waldman?
time.
Babe Ruth.
Susan Waldman. No,
Come on!
not Babe Ruth.
Lou?
No.
Was before
Garrett
Lou.
was playing 30.
No, not before Lou. I don't
37,
think so.
1937?
1937.
I'm reading it. I can't read it. Oh, was it really? Wow, that was early on then.
No one's saying anything.
All right.
Oh, Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is incorrect. What year did Bernie Williams make his MLB debut?
95.
No, that's Jeter.
Yogi Berra.
Isn't it? No, not Yogi Berra. No.
Joe D.
Who said
Bernie
Joe
was on the
D?
team already.
Dennis Farrell.
Dennis Farrell has the correct answer. It was Joe D.
Dennis Farrell has asked this a few times, so since he got the answer right, he just wants to know, like, there's going to be, like, a few different things this Friday. He wants to know, like, with the song list. So I just want to answer that, yeah, there's going to be, like,
Sure,
different things
yes.
going on. No, because Jeff talked about that last week, that there will be, like, a few different things that'll be a great surprise.
Surprises, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But come and find out.
But you have to come and find
We
out.
definitely like to make sure that, especially when we do New York, Long Island area, we do some special stuff for
And there's
the
a handful,
locals,
yeah.
Billy's got so much material to choose from, so it's super hard to, but we definitely know that people want to hear random stuff, and we try our best to fulfill our obligation with that.
I will tell you, they're opening with "You Got Me Humming." I gave it away. Sorry.
Dude, why do I gotta tell you things and you're just gonna tell everybody? What's up with that?
I love that version, by the way.
But it goes into handball, right?
Nice. And then I'll cry instead. I do. I love that version of "You Got Me Humming." I love that version. You guys.
Okay.
I do. It's well, he's on it. Aren't you on that?
Nope.
Oh, my apologies. Are you sure?
Can we just go on to the next
That's from the Songs in the Attic outtakes.
Really? Then I'm on it.
Yeah. See, I knew. See.
I don't remember playing it.
It's a thing.
I don't know where the outtakes
Oh, is it
are.
a thing?
How'd you
My
get-
apologies.
How'd you get the outtakes? Never mind.
I have them.
Bootlegs.
I'll give them to you.
We all collect the bootlegs. Where was I? How many times? Last question. How many times did Bernie Williams make the All-Star team?
4.
4 times.
Close. Close. Incorrect, but close.
I mean, he's only played baseball for a certain amount of years, so it has to be kind of close.
No,
You were just saying.
You guys got to know your Bernie, man.
I don't.
All right.
Dude,
6
I'm
times.
surprised if I know how to get home later.
I'll give you a ride.
Okay.
All right. So going back from the beginning, Costanza played for the worked for the Yankees, Appalachian Mountains. A sporting event that's also called burling is called log rolling. Smells like Teen Spirit. You guys got? Well, nobody got the Lennon question. I'm shocked. The last song John Lennon played for a paying audience was "I Saw Her Standing There" with Elton John. It's on the Here and There live album. I Saw Her Standing There. He didn't even sing it originally, but that's the song he played.
Oh wait, Doug Batchelor said "Standing There."
Oh, he did?
That should
Okay.
count, right?
Yeah, that counts. We'll give it to him. Norwegian Wood we got. The Woodwind we got. One Reed. We got John Coltrane. The 1998 Yankees won 114 games.
Oh, you know who got that? The only one who got that was Sue Roman.
She got what?
The 114.
Oh. Sue Roman, who's...
114 games.
But,
Yeah.
but this season they won 125 games.
That's unbelievable. That really is unbelievable. And speaking of Sue Roman, we did our Christmas show there, and she has Doug's piano.
Oh, yeah.
She has Doug's piano in her
I
living
was
room.
the one who is actually...
That was kind of cool. That was a nice
Did you
surprise.
orchestrate that?
Of course he did, yeah.
It's my piano.
I've known Sue for 30-something years now.
Yeah, it couldn't be in a better home.
Absolutely.
And
Her
Pegasus
sons
is
are
still very nice and happy about it. So
her sons are very talented.
Paulie is
Paulie is an amazing piano player, singer, and then Tommy is a weirdo, but he's a good kid. Joe D hit the home runs. Bernie Williams made his major league debut in 1991.
Wow.
1991. He made the All-Star team 5 times.
Maureen
times.
Smith got that
Maureen Smith got what?
5 times.
Oh, did she? Nice.
Yeah, she looked it up.
She Googled it while she's laying there recuperating.
Yeah, she doesn't know about
Doesn't
Yankees.
fool me.
She doesn't know Yankees.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
Jay. Yeah, thank you, Jay Bruce.
All right, so there's a big fight who got Joe D.
A big fight?
Yeah, because Carol Carolla said it first.
Okay.
So she just wants like
All right,
credit for
thank
that.
you, Carol.
Yeah.
Carol, thank you.
Carol, you got it.
She's awesome. Carol.
Are you flying
Yeah.
down, Carol? I know Carol was thinking about flying down on
Yes, she
Friday.
was.
She's
She's
so
not.
hopefully she's not.
No, I don't think so.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
All right. Well done,
job.
baby.
Yeah.
This is Andy Gilmartin.
Thank you,
This
buddy.
is the one and only Richie Cannata. Thanks,
Thank
One
man.
and only.
The one and only.
and only,
We
too.
will see you next week. Don't know who the guest is yet. We had a guest. He canceled today.
Guitar
so-
player for Stryper.
It was actually the guitar player for Shadow Eden. You know Shadow Eden?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Seriously?
No.
No.
Is that like Shadow, the guy who was never mind. Was he on Hollywood Squares all the time?
Yes, Paul.
Fucking Shadow Stevens, you got it.
Shadow Stevens and Paul Lind is our guest next week.
I know I work with this guy.
And Shadow's gonna hit a voice like this. In the
Wow.
center square.
John Davidson was the man. Right?
John Davis. Whoa.
That was a big deal back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's our show next week. We're playing Hollywood Squares.
It's a great idea.
So, yeah, it is.
So come to the show Friday. Thank you.
Friday at the Space, 7:45, the opening act.
Tickets available at thespace@westbury.com and Ticketmaster.com.
Lords of 52nd Street playing the greatest, I think the greatest theater on Long Island. Come down early, have some fun with us. We'll see you Friday, the Lords 52nd Street. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
And then we'll
Peace
see the rest
out.
of you next Tuesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you.